Hi. So in our last tutorial, we were able to send our credentials to the server with the help of push request, right? And in this part, what we're gonna do is we're gonna receive token from the server, and then we're gonna apply this remember me logic in the client side, and we also gonna fetch profile from the user. See, what is token? First of all, before writing any code, understand what token is. Token is simply a string that is generated by the server when you are authenticated. When the user is authenticated, a server will create a unique token. Why do we need it? Because we want to make a future request, whatever request or whatever you activity you want to do inside your application, you don't want to keep on logging to the application, right? Because you have already authenticated yourself during the first login. So in the future, whenever you want to do certain thing in the app, you don't want to keep on logging to it. Imagine you're opening a Facebook and you did something, you logged in, you did something, you uploaded a post, and then you close the app. Whenever you open the app again, does it ask you to log in again? No, right? Because it has already saved your token in the configuration file of the application, and that token is generated by a server, as we are doing the client side of this application, which is only responsible for sending the credentials to the server, and server authenticates that credentials. And if the user is authenticated, we will receive the token, and with the help of that token, what we're gonna do is we also gonna receive our profile. See, if I'm authenticated, I'll get a token. With the help of token, I'll say server, this is my token, just give me back my profile. So that's what we're going to do. So for example, let me explain this with an example. I have a very basic example. Imagine you are going into a hotel. What do you need to do at first? You need to first register. Imagine hotel being a platform, okay? Imagine hotel is a Facebook. There could be a lot of people coming to this hotel, and everybody needs to register. And register part is login. So you're logging into Facebook, so hotel needs registration. And after registration, what happens? The hotel will give you a key to your room, and everybody has their own unique key. That key is a token. And after getting a key, you get into your own room. That room is your profile, and everybody has their own unique room. And my room will have my picture, my description, my something, something, something. That's how this logging thing will work. So to receive token, what I want to do is, so as I said, token is going to be in string format. So I'll create a variable. Oh, sorry, I'm inside signal. So I'll go inside private and then q string. Let's say m token. So this variable will be responsible to store our token in the RAM, right? And we are also applying remember me button. So let's have this remember me logic. So let's give our initial status of our remember me remember status, and this gonna save false at the beginning. You know why? Because whenever you log in, this is unchecked, right? That means your current status will always be false whenever you open the application. That's why I gave the current status to be false. And see, whenever this is clicked, what do we want? We want an immediate signal in the backend. So for that, we will create a queue property here, similar to what we have created for loading. And I've already explained what queue property does, and I also have a tutorial for queue property. And if you're watching this part of the tutorial without watching the previous part, then you'll be super confused. So I recommend you go watch the first part. So this queue property will take the type. So our type will be boolean, and I'll say remember. This remember will be what? Be our um, the actual getter, which will get you the current status. This is your remember status, right? This is the current status. Sorry, I'll make this small letter. Okay. And we have this setter. We have this getter. I need to have set remember WRIT, right? I don't know, I think I mistakenly deleted this, right? And then we also need what? Need to remove this. Sorry, this format has changed, so I mistakenly changed something. So see, it will have its type read. What will this read? This will read the getter. The getter will, meaning getter is what? You're getting data, man. Means you are reading data. So we are, remember, we're going to create this function. We are setting the remember. This will also be a function. And then we need a signal. Remember changed. And we will quickly initialize this here. Sorry. After this, I would say boolean remember. And what else we're gonna have? We're gonna have a setter. So setter will only set the value, so we don't need to return anything. So the parameter, sorry, the return type will be void. So set remember, right? So set REMEM, set remember, and this will take a current status. So this, it will take this current status of the remember me button, and then we will have the definition in our login authentication.cpp. Understand this very carefully, okay? So let's define our remember. Go to your refactor, add definition to your login authentication.cpp, and this will only return what? Your remember status. So it will only return the status. So this is reading the current status. And let's also define our setter function for remember me, and refactor in authentication.cpp. This is going to do what? It's going to check if our remember status, which is a current status, is not equal to value. That means whatever the value that the new status we're trying to put, if these are not equal, that means we need to change the older status to this new status. And then after changing this current status, we also gonna emit the signal saying that we have updated status of the remember me button. So whenever user says true here, it's gonna check if the system is already at true or not. So if the system is at false, then this is not equal, right? Then it will set the new true value to the whatever the old value was. Let's say false, then it will say okay, this signal is emitted saying that the remember status has changed. Oh sorry, remember changed. We have not created this signal, even though we have already given it here. So we're gonna quickly create a signal here, void remember changed. See, we have this simple logic to have the sync between the GUI and the backend if the user has set remember to be true or not. And now what do we want is we want to receive this token and store it here, right? So let's go to our login authentication, and here we have a function login where we send the HTTP request, push request to the server, and then after sending this request with our credentials, it's gonna reply here, right? So whenever there is a request, it's gonna reply. That reply, the response will be stored in this pointer. And then here we also checked that if whenever the response is finished, that when we have completed getting the response, then run this function. And what this function, lambda function, is doing is it's checking if there is no error that is saying that login is successful. See, when is login successful? When you send the credentials to your server, then server checks if that is valid credential or not. If that is not valid credential, then you will get error, right? So if you get error, then it says login failed. But if you don't get an error, that means that you have successfully logged in. And after successfully logged in, what I want to do is I want to read this token. I want to read whatever the token is being sent by the server. So this whatever response is coming is stored in this reply, right? This variable, right? Whenever this post request done, then it will wait till the actual response is stored in this reply, and then we run this function. So whenever there is a response and there is no error, then what we want to do is we want to store the token inside our this variable m token. And to do that, let's create auto JSON. For now, it's probably be in the JSON format. So in JSON, what we're gonna do is reply. We're gonna say this reply variable and read all. What this function is gonna do is it's gonna read all from this reply, and this will be in qbyte array format. Okay, this gonna be in a raw byte format. Qbyte means raw byte format. See, qbyte array read all, right? So this gonna have a qbyte. So but we don't need qbyte, we need in JSON format. We don't know the type, so that's why I'm using auto, but I'll change this to JSON. To do that, what I will do is I will use QJSON document, and then I have this from JSON. What this will do is, what this function here will do is, this qbyte array will be managed in a JSON like format, which is Qt friendly, with the help of this from JSON. Okay, this will be raw data. It will be properly formatted with the help of this JSON document from JSON function. And we don't want this as a normal JSON, we want this as object. So I'll also convert it to an object. So after converting it to an object, it will be stored in this session. So I want to store especially token into our variable. So our variable is what? M token, right? So our M token should be the value of JSON, and then we will receive token. If there is a key called token, then we want to give that in M token. Oh, JSON. No viable overloaded. This is taking a string, so I'll just say to a string. Maybe because, okay, yeah, this works fine because it is a QString type, right? Now we have this JSON, but I want it to store as a string. Seems fine. We have successfully received the token. So how is we have this dummy server here, which will send this token, generate fake token, and then this token will be sent to us, and then we are just receiving this token. Okay, so we will send the email and password. This will generate the token, and then it will send you the token, and this token will be coming as a token key here. So whatever I'm writing here is based on our server. So we are just making this client, right? So if you are making this client, then you should be aware of what your server is doing. Then you have to change it. I will be giving this code to you in the description. Don't worry about this. This is just a dummy server that I created to explain you how to create this actual client in C++ for your application, or especially for login authentication. Now we already have this token stored in our M token. Let's see if we are actually getting this M token or not. To do that, what I'll do is I'll say QInfo here and print this M token. and let's see if we actually get token here in the console or not if we run this application. It's building. Let's build it. Do we get it? Compile out, application output, QML is enabled. Is it because only safe environment? Well, let's do one thing. I think we didn't even run this server. Let's run the server. We'll watch for changes in this directory. Address already in use. That means that in somewhere this is still running. I'll create a new terminal and let's try it here. I'll delete this one. Let's run our server. Okay, it's running. And after running this, I want to rebuild this and run again. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say that it's connected. It doesn't do anything as of now. Let's see what we are doing here in our main.cpp. Should have login failed. Well. Let's run this again. Okay, there seemed to be some issue, so I'll just rebuild this. If I run this, unauthorized post login http 101. Let's see what we have here in .cpp. Login is good enough. So it's gonna send the push request. It is stored in reply, and then we're saying if this reply read all, and then from JSON converting it to JSON and to the JSON object. So M token will have this JSON token converted to a string and stored in M token. That means this queue network is empty. But go to main.cpp, are we actually passing the value? Oh, it's email. I need to change this because in the last tutorial we changed this to, we changed this email. The original is email. So if I go to my server, we have a example.com. Sorry, example.com. This is the actual email and password. It's hard-coded, right? So I'll run this. Now everything should work fine. Now see, the login is successful, and also we got the fake JWT token for this. So we are successfully getting the login now. Token. With the help of this token, what we need is we need to fetch the profile of the user. Okay, let's quickly do this. And to fetch the profile of the user, what we need is a GET request, because we are trying to take the information from the server. We're not sending anything. We just want something from the server. So to do that, let's create another function in CPP here, just below login. I'm gonna have invoke eval void and fetch profile. Let's say fetch profile, and this will not set anything as parameter. It will only send a GET request to the server, and whenever the server gets the GET request, it will immediately send you a response with whatever request you have sent. So our GET request will be of the token. We will say to this, we'll tell server that just return us the token for this user. Oh, sorry, just return us the profile for this token. I said it in the wrong way. So go to this refactor and login authentication.cpp. Now in this part, we're gonna set the GET request because we wanna get the profile of the user, and we are getting that profile of the user based on what? The token that we got while login. When the login was successful, the token was received from the server, and then server, what we did, we stored that in a RAM in a variable. The token was stored in a RAM. Okay, and then with the help of that token, we're gonna say, okay, this token, for this token, just send the profile of the user. And to do that, I'll just copy this thing which was making a push request for login here. We don't need loading because we're not trying to log in, and instead of login endpoint, we'll have what does our server have? For the login, we have the login endpoint, but for the profile, we have this /profile, which will get you the profile, which has a GET request, you can see here, and which is sending user and email, username and email. These are two keys. User is the key, email is also the key. Okay, depends verify token. The whatever token we send, the server will verify and return these data for the profile. So here we profile, because it will send request to this endpoint. It is going to be of GET type, and right now we are using content the content header type is unknown header, but instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a custom header. So I'll say set raw header. So this raw header, what it does is it's gonna let you have your custom header. Okay, you click here, it takes what, two parameters. One is qbyte array header name, another is qbyte array value. Okay, it takes a request. No, it takes two data. Okay, so our header is going to be what? Authorization. What is authorization? Now authorization is a header. This is a HTTP header, and whenever you use this authorization header, it knows that okay, whatever you are sending is a login authentication or any authorization type of request. So we are saying authorization is the header type, and who is going to be our bearer? BEARER. Bearer will be, sorry, I'll just do bearer will be our what? Our token. Bearer will be our M token, because this M token is the bearer, means this is my token, right? So I am the bearer of this token. This means we are sending this request. We're going to send this request to this URL, which has this header as authorization, means that it already understands that we are asking for authorization for this bearer who has the token this, and bearer always have this space here. I'll tell you why. And token is fine. Use undeclared identifier email, use of undeclared password. We don't even need this for now. No viable conversion. Okay, see, why do you get this error, no viable conversion? Because right now this M token is in what? QString format. See, it is in QString format, but this only takes qbyte array. So I'll do to UTF-8. this UTF-8 will encode this Q string into qbyte array. Okay, and always have this space here, one space here after bearer. You know how this will look as it goes? It will look like this: authorization, and sorry, authorization, and then inside here it will have a bearer, and then whatever your token is, blah 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 blah, your token here. It will be sent something like this: header, and then here it is saying that this is the bearer token. So this is the format how it will be set as a header for our request. Now I don't need this payload because it's a GET request. We are sending just a request to get the profile. We're not sending any data. We're not sending any data from our side. We're just requesting the data. So I don't need this. I also don't need this because we're not sending anything. And Q network reply, in the reply with the network manager, it is not a push request but a GET request. So GET request will not send data. That means that we only need to send the request. Seems good enough. So our request is going to this endpoint, which has a header type authorization, and the bearer is this token number. Looks good to me, good enough, and we don't need to change anything. It will say okay, whatever, when the request is sent to the server, the response will be stored in this reply. And this signal and slot, what is this doing is, for this object here, when this signal is emitted, and this finished signal will only be emitted when the response is complete, when you have stopped receiving the response, when the receiving the response is completed entirely. That means that you have already got the response. Okay, then in this case, set loading false. I don't need this loading any, and then if there is no error, that means what? That means that we have successfully sent the request, and it is reading all the thing from this reply, and then it is looking for token. But in this case we are not looking for token, but we are instead looking for what do we have in our profile? We have user and email. So we are looking for a user. I'll make this string user, and I'll also store QString. What is another thing? Email to JSON email to string. Now what did we do? We created two small variables where we store the user and email that we received from this GET request, and the response was stored in reply. Through that we were able to take these and then store it inside the user email. Now what I want is, after this, I don't want to embed login successful because we already logged in, and after logged in, we have already successfully logged in. After being logged in into the system, then only we are able to fetch the profile. So this is not needed. I will emit a different signal, emit fetch profile successful. And right now we have not actually initialized this signal in our header file, but this signal will also take what? Two parameters, and these parameters are going to be user, email, and I'll tell you why. And to initialize this, just take this signal and go to your login authentication, and inside signal, this is a valid signal, right? But it is taking a parameter, so I'll do QString user and QString email, and sorry, it will be of type void. This is the signal, right? And let's make it constant. We're taking it by reference. Same here. Problem. Now we should have like successfully fetched the user and email. That means that we have successfully fetched the profile of the user with the help of this token without needing to log in. So yeah, we need login to authenticate. After getting authenticated, we get this token. Okay, emit login failed. Not really. I mean, I'll just need this here. I'll say fetch profile failed. Signal here, and then I'll initialize this in the header. Set, I'm sorry, fetch file failed. All right, looks good to me. Now see, one thing here is missed still. If I run this, what's gonna happen? We didn't get anything. We didn't get the user and email. Now understand this, okay? When is the time are you going to store a token in the application? When user actually hits the remember me. When user hits remember me, that what you want to do, you want to store the token in the system. Right now it's not stored in the system, it is stored in a variable. See, this m token is not getting stored in the system. It will store it in a memory, in a variable when this application is running, but we want to actually store it in a system. So normal system uses settings to store these tokens, or any type of other application configuration. iOS app uses plist, Windows uses registry, and similarly Linux uses something called what do they have, config file. Yeah, so to have this stored somewhere, we need to store it in QSettings. So I'm going to include QSettings include. Now you should be confused what QSetting really is, right? See, QSetting is nothing but a type the class given to you to store a dictionary like data. It helps you store configurations, and this file is very lightweighted. Only use of this QSetting is to store settings of the application, and then we're gonna store our token as well. So to use this, let's have 2-3 functions. What functions do we need? Let me think. We want to store this token in the system, right? So void store token and void clear token. We also want to remove the token, and what else do we want? So we want to store the token, we want to clear the token, and we want to do we want to get the token from the queue setting? Maybe. Yeah, wait, get token, sorry, get token. Do we have get token already? Perfect, we have these 3 functions for now. Well, let's go and initialize this inside our main.cpp. Let's create this in authentication.cpp. It's going to store our token, right? So I'm gonna create QSettings object, and I'll say token. This is of type what? QString. Okay, QStrings token, and then this token will have set value. Let's say, sorry, I used the error. This set value, what is it going to save? It's gonna set the value QAnyString view key and value. See, like I said, QSetting is just a dictionary like thing, and it helps you to store configuration of the application. So we're gonna store our token, right? So auth token, let's say, and then our actual token, which is going to be m token. Perfect. Now this auth is not the key but a group. You can either have this or not have this, it doesn't matter. But if you are working on large software, then you will certainly have a group, and with the inside group you're gonna have a key, just like a data JSON file. So it will look something like this. For example, you have a group called auth, and inside auth you have token, and then some token of yours. It's gonna store something like this inside this QSettings. If you're using Mac OS, it will be stored in your plist. If you're using Linux, in config file, similar to that. Okay, so we are actually storing it, setting the value of this object with our key and value pair. And let's go write our another function, which is clear token. Factor cpp. Only thing it will do is setting token, and then it will just token dot clear. This will clear the entire token, removes all entries in the primary location necessary to do QSettings. Okay, perfect. And what else we have? Get token. We also are using this function to receive the token stored in QSettings. Side in login authentication. So this will return the token, right? All right, I understand. To return the token, our token is of type QString. So I'll make this QString. Also is return type QString, as our token will be in string format. And I'm gonna say return what do you want to send? Let's say QSettings token, and token dot value. This value function will do what? It will receive it will give you the return of this token. So that means that token is a setting type, right? So it will give you the value of the settings. And if we click here, then it should show us the preview of this function. Member function for call to value, no matching member function. Yo, get token. We are trying to receive the token, right? So we have return type, and then it will return what? Token, as it will return this, because this is our key. And if this key is not found, let's have the default as nothing, empty, no viable conversion. No viable conversion for return value. Okay, this token to value is not returning type of QString, so dot toString. See, I'm still looking at the error and then fixing the code, right? So here, see, why did we initialize our Q setting like here individually inside this function and not initialize this globally. Why did I not do it? The only reason is this Q setting is very lightweighted feature inside Qt. So I don't want to include this inside the main. So I also don't want it to be initialized when the application is running. I only want this Q setting to be ran when we want to store a token. And this store token is only emitted when somebody hits the remember me button, or else there is no reason for storing token in your configuration file. So what we're gonna do is we need to store a token, right? So we get token somewhere here in this login function. So where do we store it? Let's see. We receive our response here, and then we store our response into JSON here, and we store our token into token. Now I want to check login successful. Up till here we are logged in successfully. Here what I want to do is I want to check if I want to check if remember me status. If remember me status is true, means that we need to store token, and then it says if user is remember status, means if this is true then only store token, else what I want to say is clear token. If they else clear this token. Where did I? Yeah. So what am I doing here is I'm saying check if there is a remember status true. If there is not a remember status, if nothing is there, just clean the token, don't include anything. So we are good till here. Seems all right to me. Fetch profile successful. Seems all right to me. Let's test this code with the help of our main.cpp. Generally this login thing will be done in GUI, but we are going to create GUI in the next part, so we are only testing it through our main with the help of putting this hard-coded values. So my test @example.com and my password, these are the hard-coded values for now, but generally if you are working in a project it would be coming from a database table. So I'll make another connection, and this connection will be between this object, of course, and when profile fetch successful. When profile fetch successful is emitted, then I want to have string user comma string what email. See, the good thing about this signal and slot is, why did I use a parameter here in our where is it, signal? Because this can be caught in lambda during the time of signal and slot. So this parameter we can catch it here in signal and slot. So this is a new feature coming after Qt5. So here what we are trying to do is it is checking in this object if there is a fetch profile successful emitted. Whenever this is emitted, then you need to run this function, and this function is taking two things, user and email, which is able to take it from the fetch profile successful signal. So we're taking these values from this signal, right? And then we need to use it here inside of it. So qinfo email qinfo user. So I'm just simply gonna print this email in user to test it out that we actually received the profile or not. So let's see. and like we call this authenticate login, I will call our function here inside our login successful, because we're only going to fetch profile when the login is successful, or else we don't want to call this function. So in the login authenticate dot fetch profile, this will be run when there is a login successful. This function will be running. Capture authentication. Okay, we capture everything with the help of reference. Okay, if I run this, let's see if we actually receive the token or not. If I run it, it is running fine for 3 forbidden. Okay. Oh yeah, we did get. Oh, we didn't get the profile, did we? It's odd that we didn't get a profile. So authenticate user, using user. This const. I'm 100% sure it's not because of this, but I'm just changing it. It's a good way of writing this because we don't want to change any user or email inside this function. And what I need. QInfo email, this email and password. Email and user, we're taking it all, right? So let me try it again. If it doesn't work, then we will debug into the system. Yeah, we didn't get anything, so let's debug. Let's go to login, CPP, store token. We store token in this. Get token authentication. Okay, this looks good. Well, I figured out what was wrong with our code. It was a very small typo. Oh my god, but it took me a lot of time to figure out what was wrong, because there were no errors, nothing was feeling wrong about this code. I went line by line, and then I realized the spelling of the error, the B should be capital. That's it. This was a typo that I had, and see the consequences. I lost my 1 hour figuring this out. But anyways, we are here. It will just have this B as capital in the where, then you should be all right. And if I run this, what do we get? We get the values, right? We fetch the profile, we have the token, and login is successful. It is working good. So now we'll have one more function. What that function will do is, whenever you close the application and you have already hit remember me, right? And you close the application, and when you open the application again, the system should already know that it should fetch the token before asking you to log in, right? So we'll have this function as q invocable, and this will run where, it will run on the topmost page of our GUI, even before the login loads. This function will load before loading our login page. So this function will check if we already have an existing token or not in the system. If we already have an existing token, then we will directly help you log in and take you to the main page without asking you to log in again. Vocable void try auto login. This doesn't return anything, so it's a void type and doesn't need any parameter as well. So I'll just refactor this to our CPP, login authentication.cpp, and here first of all, I'll try to fetch our token. To fetch our token is it's get token. So I'll call get token function. What this does, it will return a token from our settings, right? So settings will be within our application file. So I will get token, and if this get token, sorry, if our m token is not empty, then what we will do is we'll fetch profile. We'll call this function fetch profile. If this token is not empty after loading this should be loaded in m token. See, get token will give you return the token type, right? So what I'll do is, after getting that value, then we already have this m token thing, and we will fetch our profile. But after fetching profile, what you need is you need to also have a login successful, right? We need to emit that signal as well, or else the system will not know that you have already have a login successful emitted. It will not even let you like go through the login authentication page because it needs to know that the login was successful. So inside fetch profile, I'll try to have emit login successful emission here. So whenever this call is called, this function is called, we already know that the login successful was emitted. And this function, don't be afraid, it's safe because this function is only called when the login is successful. If we don't have a token, then on the login function will be called, and only after that this function will be called. But if we already have a token in our settings of this application, then it will directly run the fetch profile instead of login. Seems good to me. Well, so this is it. In the next tutorial we should do the GUI for this login page, and we'll connect all of these things to the front end while we design the login page. All right, I'll see you in the next one.